In the quiet woodland corner of the zoo, where tall oaks stretched their branches toward the sky and the air smelled of moss and leaves, lived the little owl. His feathers were soft and speckled with gray and white, his eyes round and golden, and his wings small compared to the wide span of the older owls. While the grown owls perched calmly, their heads turning with wisdom, the little owl often shifted nervously on his branch, unsure of himself. During the day, the visitors gathered to see the colorful parrots, the graceful flamingos, and the playful monkeys. Few stopped at the owl aviary, where the birds rested quietly in the shade. The little owl watched them pass, wishing he had bright feathers or a cheerful song to share. His eyes were sharp and his wings were strong enough for short flights, but he felt invisible, too still, too quiet to be admired. At night, when the zoo fell silent, the older owls spread their wings and flew gracefully across the enclosure. Their movements were soundless, their eyes glowing as they watched the world below. The little owl tried to join them, but his wings flapped too loudly, and he tired quickly. He landed clumsily on low branches, embarrassed by the contrast to their elegant glides. Every morning the keepers brought fresh food. The older owls waited patiently, their presence calm and dignified. The little owl rushed forward, his movements restless, scattering feathers as he landed. The others gave him space, but not their approval. He lowered his head, believing that stillness and silence were strengths he did not possess. Yet the little owl carried something special. He noticed details the others overlooked. He saw the way dew formed perfectly on spider webs, how the breeze swayed the smallest twigs, how shadows shifted when clouds crossed the sun. While the louder animals drew cheers from visitors, he observed quietly, storing every detail in his heart. One evening, as dusk painted the sky in shades of purple and gold, a butterfly drifted into the aviary. It fluttered desperately against the mesh, unable to find its way out. The little owl tilted his head, followed its movements carefully, and flew softly to the corner. With a gentle nudge of his wing, he guided it toward the open air. The butterfly escaped into the twilight, free at last. His quiet eyes had noticed what others had missed. The next night, a mouse wandered near the fence, searching for crumbs. The little owl swooped low, not to catch but to guide. He fluttered his wings softly, steering the mouse away from danger and back toward the safety of the bushes. His presence, once clumsy, had become a shield. Later that week, a storm swept across the zoo. Rain hammered on the aviary roof, and branches bent under the wind. A small chick, frightened and cold, trembled on a low branch. The little owl perched beside it, spreading his wing over the chick until the storm passed. Though his wing was small, it was enough to give warmth. As days passed, the zoo prepared for the Festival of Wisdom, a celebration of animals known for their insight and calm. The parrots would speak in clever voices, the lions would demonstrate their leadership, and the owls were expected to show their silent flight and steady gaze. The little owl felt nervous. He feared his wings were too noisy, his movements too restless, his presence too small. But he remembered the butterfly, the mouse, and the chick. He thought of how his watchful eyes and gentle actions had made a difference. Perhaps wisdom was not only in silence and dignity, but also in noticing, caring, and protecting. When the festival arrived, lanterns glowed in the trees, and families gathered beneath the aviary. The older owls glided gracefully across the enclosure, their wings whispering against the air. The crowd admired their beauty. Then the little owl stepped forward. His wings flapped more loudly, his flight lower, but his eyes shone with focus. He flew to a high branch, scanned the ground, and spotted a small toy left behind by a child. With careful claws, he lifted it and placed it gently on the platform near the zookeeper. The children clapped with delight, pointing at the little owl. The zookeeper explained that owls see what others do not, and that their wisdom lies in their careful eyes. The families smiled, admiring the smallest owl not for silence, but for perception. As the festival ended, the little owl perched high under the lantern glow. He no longer wished for bright feathers or a loud voice. He understood that his gift was in noticing, in watching, in offering protection when others were too busy to see. From that night on, visitors often asked to see him, the owl whose quiet gaze carried wisdom beyond size.